I'd say about a year ago, I actually sell stuff on a website called Etsy, and one of my customers asked to be my friend on Facebook. So she requested to be my friend, I became her friend, and I actually noticed that she was a part of a nonprofit group that was made of all tattooed women. So I asked her how to apply, she gave me the application, and kind of went from there.
My tattoo artist Heather told me about the group. She knows Mallory. Mallory does some of her. She told me that I should do it.
I got involved with the dolls from getting emails from other friends that were in the organization and telling me about it and everything, and I figured I really can't get into other organizations or anything people see with your funky colored hair, with your tattoos, so I figured this would actually be the best organization for me to be in. I've always wanted to do something for other people considering the fact I have multiple sclerosis. So I really can't do much, so to me it makes me feel better helping other people.
I got involved with the dolls. I went to school with a couple of the girls, and they were bugging me for a very long time to get involved, and I finally did, but I was a doll supporter for a while.
I found out about the modified dolls through a friend.
I met Mallory at the Skin Industry Convention at the recruiting table, and she gave me a little bit of background about the organization and how they were working to raise funds and awareness for a different charity every month, as well as negate some of the negative stereotypes about modified women, which is something that I've been working on myself, obviously, for a while, and offered me an application right there on the spot. So I took her up on it. I thought that it was something that would give me a way to get out of the house, meet some like-minded women, give back to the community, and I just love the tagline of making a difference. I think that that's a fantastic way to raise awareness with a sense of humor.
My favorite event, although really horrible, was the Polar Plunge for Special Olympics. It was very cold, but it was fun because we were all together and there was a lot
So far, today's event misunderstood the breed of blues. We are here benefiting local pitbull rescues, raising awareness about the breed, that abolishing the negative stereotypes that pitbulls have against them, and raising money for pinups for purpose.
I'd say our pancake breakfast that was at Applebee's at the beginning of April. We had a really good turnout and raised over $1,000, and pit bulls are one of my favorite breeds of dogs. So
My favorite fundraiser would be the first event we ever did. It was actually the painted boobie auction. A bunch of girls actually painted their breasts and got their pictures taken. It's only the chest shot, no faces or anything. And then we actually had an event at Volpe's in Emmaus, and we auctioned them off, and we actually raised about $650 to $700 for the Lehigh Valley Breast Health Network. But it was a lot of fun, and it's just, you know, being around different girls, just not caring, taking their shirts off, getting their boobies painted, and it was all for a good cause. So everybody had their own story behind it.
I think people are now finally, just from word of mouth, hearing about us. We finally got recognition within the community. We do a lot of stuff with local tattoo shops, so they usually put flyers and stuff at their shop for us. So between them talking to, you know, their customers or customers coming up and seeing our business cards or our flyers, they usually, you know, will spread the word about the group between them, and we started getting into a lot of just events that people just come up to. So like this past weekend we did the Skin Industry Tattoo Expo, so a lot of people just from coming up to us and just walking by were kind of interested about the group. So yeah, I think at this point just word of mouth is pretty much what's getting.
I think more and more people are learning about the group. We try to promote it as much as possible, and the more we promote, the more girls find out about it and actually want to join, because there's a lot of girls like us that want to do the same thing, but because of modifications, people look down on you, and so yeah, we're definitely getting the word out there, that's for sure.
I try to tell people about it because it's important that like people know that I'm not some just weirdo with tattoos and piercings, so when I tell them about it, I try to make sure that they know that we are out there and I'm trying to promote people to get in the group more. And I guess I started to realize that there's more girls and stuff out there with more piercings than I really thought about, so I started to look to promote people to come and join the group. But yeah, it's our daily life. It's definitely become more of my lifestyle. It's also making me want more tattoos.
Yes, I was actually in our magazine twice. I actually like it a lot just because a lot of our girls aren't necessarily model types, so they wouldn't have the opportunity to be in the magazine unless, you know, it's just something that the girls who deserve it, you don't necessarily have to be, you know, the skinniest or the best looking. If you do the hard work that the group is all about, then you get the opportunity to be in
Yes, I have, and it's a really great magazine. The photography is amazing. We have a lot of beautiful women in our group, and I think our magazine is very well put together.
Craigslist and Facebook. Craigslist, we reach a lot of people who normally wouldn't, if they don't know about the group. Like, we post a lot in the volunteer section, and I get people who have never heard of the group, or even people who aren't necessarily tattooed. They're looking for just a different type of group to be a part of, and they think it's a cool concept. And so we get a lot of random people not necessarily wanting to join the group, but just wanting to volunteer with us, just to get the opportunity to be a part of all the different charities that we help.
Our strongest asset with recruiting other dolls and supporters would definitely be advertising, Facebook, flyers, just spreading the word everywhere. Mass media.
I think that's fantastic. Personally, I've been on Facebook for years. I actually have 2 Facebook accounts, personal and a professional. And I think that it's a great way to spread the word further than you might be able to individually, through spiderwebbing, networking. I like that this enables people who might not be able to always get to a physical location to definitely stay up to date and in contact and connected with the organization and feel like they're connected and still part of what's going on. That's one of the things that drew me in and made me feel like this was going to be a good fit.
Every doll shares everything, and people who aren't involved are able to find out a lot about what we're doing and who we are as a group and the events that we do.
Facebook is probably one of our best ways about getting the word spread. We have close to 1,500 followers on our Tri-State Facebook page, and the actual main Modified Dolls Facebook has over 20,000. I mean, that's a ridiculous amount of number just to spread the word about events and charities, and I think that's the best thing that we have. We can invite our friends to all of our events, people who, aren't personally friends with any of the dolls. They get to learn about what we have going on, so.
Being surrounded by a bunch of other girls that are tattooed and pierced, not being judged.
My favorite part of being a doll is just meeting lots of girls who have the same interest. I get along with all of the girls, everybody's great, and we all get to do the same thing we all love to do, is just helping other people, raising money, spreading the word about everything. And it's fun, it's a lot of fun. It's basically helping out a cause and having a lot of fun with friends.
Everything. From what we do to the people we work with, it's an amazing group.
Helping charities. My favorite part is just to help out.
I love modifications. To me, it's your body is art. You know what I mean? Your body is a canvas. Decorate it with art. Do what you want to do. I think it's a beautiful thing.
I love modifications. I had all the money in the world, would not look like how I do right now. There would be way more piercings, way more tattoos, because that's...
I love them. I'm not done. I'm eventually going to be covered in tattoos. I love piercings. I'm addicted.
I don't know if it's changed my perception. I think it's changed other people's perceptions. I've never been one to, judge somebody by the way they look just because, people do it to me. I mean, I have a chest piece. That's usually, I've learned to hide it at job interviews, but before I thought I could get away with it and actually didn't get quite a few jobs just based off my appearance. And I know a lot of people, like actually, the older generation, they sometimes will just, look at someone who's tattooed pierced and think, hoodlums or up to no good. So I think the group, we've gotten a lot of positive feedback from older people at our events who would have never thought that a group of tattooed chicks would put on, raise $1,000 for an animal shelter, or, do a walk for the multiple sclerosis. Like, it hasn't changed my perception just because I always know that, just because you're tattooed doesn't make you bad, but I think it's changed a lot of other people.
Not really. I've always loved body modifications, and I'm blessed to be a doll because I think modifications are amazing. They make you unique, and you can cover your body in beautiful art and do whatever you want to make you look how you want to look.
To each his own opinion. I don't think it should be a requirement for somebody to accept tattoos or piercings. Everybody has their own views. They should be a little more accepting with the workplace, and it's just there's so many people that have them, it doesn't make you a horrible person.
Yes, and I think it's not just women, I think it's just in general that people need to learn that just because you're modified or, you have tattoos or anything that's visible that makes you a bad person. There's a lot of people and a lot of people who, this whole organization is based off of being modified and changing the perception of others. So, yeah, I definitely think that it's something that other people should not judge based off of just first looks alone. They should get to know somebody and know what they're really about before they make harsh
It's definitely a lot harder to get a job with modifications, and I feel that just like the media and especially older people have a very skewed perception of the person you are when you do have modifications, but it doesn't make you a different person.
Very much so, yes. Yes, because, and I think it's particularly difficult to be a modified woman. Men have their own challenges, obviously, with it, but there is such a very specific and constricting standard of acceptable appearance in our society that is so damaging to women that needs to change. I'm the mother of a daughter, and this is something that's really high on my list of priorities as far as raising healthy women. And just because a woman is modified doesn't make her stupid, doesn't make her a slut, and doesn't make her a criminal. And there's no reason to treat her any less because she's done something to her body that makes her feel better. So back off. Not your body, not your choice in any way, shape, or form. So, yes.
I definitely think the dolls are helping the change with stereotyping and everything like that, because my doctor's even seen the articles we're in and they think it's the greatest thing, because there's people out there, yes, that don't like all that tattoos and stuff, but once they see what we're really doing, they're starting to understand a little bit more.
Yes. Like I said before, we have gotten a lot of positive feedback from older people. We had at the pancake breakfast that we had at the beginning of the April for 3 local pit bull rescues. We had someone in their 80s come up, and she actually just got a tattoo 2 years ago, but it was a little tiny little heart on her wrist. But she said that she would never imagine that a group like this would exist, and it's great that we're doing it for charity work.
Oh yeah, between the dolls and between pinups for pit bulls and between all of the gals that are out there involved in organizations like ours, and as our group grows. Now I remember when I first joined the group, one of my Facebook friends started to bitch because it was me and somebody else that were new to the dolls and posting up all of our things that we were part of. And he was like, who are these gals? Now he wants his wife to join. So yes, I do think that like the more we grow and the bigger we get, the more difference we can make. And it's nice to get.
Absolutely. What we're doing is doing charity work to change people's perspective of people who are modified, and I think they're doing an excellent job of doing that.
It's really whatever you want it to be. Whatever makes you happy. I mean, if as long as you're happy with yourself, that's really where beauty comes from. I don't so much think that it's, what other people feel. As long as you're feeling good about yourself, then that's...
I mean, everyone's different. What I personally feel is beautiful may not be someone else's. I prefer, heavily modified people. I think modifications are absolutely beautiful.
Beauty is probably somebody that's comfortable in their own body and not afraid to show who they are and how they are. I used to be very shy and very angry with myself. I didn't think I was pretty. I had no self-confidence whatsoever. I fell in love with my dork, who tells me every day. And now that I lost a little bit of weight, although I'm still curvy and I'm going to stay curvy because there ain't no skin bone on me. It's not possible. I've noticed that the confidence that you have in yourself and the way that you show yourself, perceive yourself, show others, that's beauty.
My definition of beauty of what's on the inside, not what's on the outside. I mean, if you could be a beautiful person on the outside, but you could be ugly on the inside. So to me, beauty is skin deep, is what they say.
In the eye of the beholder. Resiliency, I think, is something I find beauty in. Obviously, there's always beauty in something that's, aesthetically attractive, but I found beauty in survival, in some interesting places. So it's hard to define, and sometimes it's incredibly surprising. And the only way you can find it is if you're open to experiencing it.
I'd say my definition of beauty is being yourself. Expressing who you are, being kind and generous, honest. I guess that would be my definition.